Chancellor's Assessor, Principal, members of the General Council and guests. It is a real pleasure for me to be giving this my first report as the convener of the Business Committee. On behalf of the Business Committee, may I congratulate the Chaplain on her award in the New Year's Honours List for her service to multi-faith education and community cohesion. Congratulations. First of all, I would like to thank members of the Business Committee for the honour of electing me. My microphone has fallen off. Good start, Stuart. Somewhere there. Just make sure. For the honour of electing me to this position. As an initial act, I wish to record our thanks to my predecessor, Professor Charles Swainson, who is with us this morning. Charles, for his commitment to the Business Committee over the past 11 years. Apart from the 4 years that Charles served as convener, he previously chaired the Academic Standing Committee. He has given a substantial and enormously beneficial contribution to our work, and we are all grateful for it. On a less happy note, I'm afraid we recently had to note the passing of one of our committee members. Anne Patterson died in the autumn, and the Secretary sent a note of sympathy to her family on behalf of the General Council. I'm impressed that the Business Committee is currently a thriving discussion forum and comprises a wide diversity of members from across the General Council. All our meetings attract very good attendances and positive participation from all. Our new members this session fully exemplify these principles. Briano Pagado is a recent graduate, very recent graduate, who was a senior member of the Edinburgh University Student Association. In comparison, Steve Hillier, Emeritus Professor of Reproductive Endocrinology, who's there? Who doesn't look like a recent graduate? Steve served the university for many years, culminating in undertaking the post of Vice Principal International. Kristina Sumelikova brings unbounded enthusiasm and her wide experience in a variety of fields. In addition, Kirsty McGregor, who just arrived, an experienced member of the Business Committee, has agreed to rejoin us despite her very busy diary, as she demonstrated this morning. Thanks, Kirsty. You have already heard of the two members recently elected, one a seasoned veteran and one a new addition. However, we are always keen to attract members of the General Council to the committee, and I'd be pleased to hear from anyone with the time and interest to participate. The Academic Standing Committee, now chaired by Steve Hillier, has developed the excellent tradition of inviting the senior representatives of the Edinburgh University Student Association to their first meeting of the session. This occurred again this year, and as always, it allows current student issues to play a part in the setting of our priorities for the forthcoming year. For this session, the whole Business Committee then agreed that the student experience, and in particular teaching and learning, should be given our highest priority. It was also decided that the other areas of importance were reviewing the university's strategic plan and its implementation, assessing the implications of the result of the referendum on membership of the European Union and the university's planning for Brexit, and thirdly, further changes around university governance in Scotland. Last session, the Academic Standing Committee held a very interesting meeting with Senior Vice Principal Charlie Jeffrey, who had been appointed to lead the development of teaching and learning and the wider student experience across the university. The committee decided that because of the preeminent importance of this topic, Professor Jeffreys should be asked back again this session to describe the advances made. It is very unusual for us to invite someone back so soon after they have contributed. However, this second invitation demonstrates the high priority we give to this matter, and I'm very pleased to say that there was no hesitation in Professor Jeffreys' acceptance. His commitment and enthusiasm to this matter were still very evident, and the changes already brought about were impressive. The committee understand that action has been and will be taken on a range of fronts, including the management of schools, more effective ways of allowing student feedback, giving teaching the same priority as research, staff appraisal, tutorial groups, estates, and transport. This is a long-term challenge, and we will keep in close touch in the coming sessions. The university has already put a huge effort into improving the student experience, and it is disappointing that this has not already brought about significant change in student comment. We are convinced that Professor Jeffreys' proposals are on the correct track, but that it may take some time to be fully implemented and show through in surveys. Professor David Munro chairs our Constitutional Standing Committee, and they will take the lead on Brexit and university governance. The latter will be dealt with later in the session, but David has already chaired a most informative meeting discussing the university's response to Brexit. This attracted probably the highest attendance ever at the subcommittee. And to me, this demonstrates the perceived importance of the subject and the commitment of members of the business committee to investigating the university's work. The University Deputy Secretary, Tracy Slavin, gave a comprehensive presentation pointing out that every day this agenda changes. Members gave praise for the manner in which the university had responded to this subject, especially the speed of response and the development of a very informative website. Tracy was very able to respond to a host of members' questions, and again, this is a subject we will return to, I'm sure, frequently over the years. I wish to highlight two topics covered by the Public Affairs Standing Committee, chaired by Matt Macpherson. No relation. He wanted me to point that out. The first is the June 2017 half-yearly meeting this coming summer. Following the undoubted success of the format adopted in London last summer, a similar, more active and engaging event is planned for the afternoon of Saturday the 10th of June in the medical school at Little France. Together with Professor Moira White, the head of the medical school, we have planned a programme to inform and engage those attending with a taster of some of the world-leading activities going on at Little France. Headlined From Molecule to Man, Research and Teaching at Edinburgh Medical School, there will be an overview of the work of the medical school from Professor White, and then 3 revolving programmes covering human imaging and the zebrafish project, big data in medicine, and a visit to the Anne Rowling Regenerative Neurology Clinic. There will be opportunities for debate and discussion around these topics. We hope that this will prove attractive and encourage everyone here today to join us again in June. The second matter relates to publications. In future, EDIT will only be published in the summer and will be more feature-driven and pictorial. There will be 1 page devoted to the General Council. This will enable us to produce Billet, our formal means of communication, separately in both winter and summer. This will be dispatched electronically to around 90,000 General Council members, and in printed version to the 900 members who have asked for it. We currently have 211,000 members of the General Council. The fourth subcommittee is Finance and Services, and I much value Sir Philip Moore's chairmanship of this. The annual meeting with the Director of Finance was held recently, and again yielded an informative presentation and rich discussion. We were most impressed by Phil McNaull's stewardship of the university finances and preparations to negotiate the challenges ahead, not the least of which is likely to be the consequences of Brexit. I would recommend the current annual report and account to members. Although this contains the usual numbers of interest to accountants, which some of us don't always understand, these are now related to the university's activities, and the report provides a very useful review of the current activities across the organisation. I'd like to make a personal statement as my penultimate comment. It is always challenging to take over a body that has been so well led in the past and encompasses the talents apparent in the business committee members. However, I am reassured that I will be kept in line by having 4 excellent subcommittee chairs and a very experienced deputy in Gordon Cairns. If you add to that Mike Mitchell as secretary and Alison as the assistant to the secretary, it's apparent to all how well supported I am, and I wish to thank them all for that. Finally, let me say a few words on behalf of the General Council and particularly the Business Committee to the Principal. Sir, we are indebted to you for the energy and devotion you have given over the past 15 years. The university has gone from strength to strength under your stewardship. It has expanded in breadth, incorporating new disciplines. It has expanded in student numbers, and it has steadily risen up the rankings to achieve the world renown it enjoys today. Moreover, we would like to thank you for the support you have been to the General Council. I am sure my predecessors as convener and all business committee members who have served during your term would wish to join me in thanking you unconditionally. We could not have wished for stronger backing. We all wish you well for whatever challenges you now wish to take on, although we know it will not be quiet retirement. We have written to Peter Macpherson welcoming him on behalf of the General Council to Edinburgh and look forward to giving our continued backing to him as principal. That concludes my report.